everybody. Welcome to Beyond Boundaries with Lisa Richmond. I'm Lisa Richmond, and this is Tarot Tuesday. So I am going to do the reading today using three different two oracles and one tarot. The tarot I usually use is the Lightseer Tarot. Great pictures. The pictures really depict the feeling, and it creates more of a story for me. So I really like using the Lightseer's Tarot. And then I'm going to be reading from Wisdom of the Oracle. Again, I read from that last week by Colette Baron-Reid. Again, amazing storytelling. And then today I will have a new deck, and it's called Sacred Symbols Oracle. And then it's got the sacred eye on it, which has so many meanings to so many people. It's significant to me for many reasons too. So when I found this deck, it was just calling me. So I'm really curious to see how it shows up. I've used it for myself. I really like it. But we're going to be using all three decks today to see what messages come through. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I do a little bit different with my tarot and oracle readings. I use the cards for sure, but I use the cards as kind of a guideline for me, as well as intuitive messaging, channeling, or mediumship that might come through. But this is a general reading for the general public. So take with you what resonates and obviously leave behind what doesn't. And sometimes there's specific things that come through that I know are for some people listening, and how it applies to you can be in multi different ways. So again, a general reading, and I hope you enjoy. So let's just jump right in. All right, I'm going to do a little offering. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna do an overall general kind of idea from the Wisdom of Oracle, see what comes through here. So I like to pull a few cards and then use the tarot to actually have any defining messages. So let's start off here. Guides, spirits, divine wisdom of the Oracle. How can we see any messages that come forward today? Okay, so deep knowing. 43. Okay, so I'm laughing because this card keeps coming up. And number 40, whether it's 43 or 34, 43 and 34 show up nonstop for me right now. So this is interesting. So right away, this card is deep knowing. Okay, it's a deep wisdom card. And then any kind of pictures that you might see on it that pop out to you, you can pause the screen if you want to take a look. There's the moon. We just had a very intense new moon, and we are awaiting eclipse season and full moon. So we're about to move into some serious energy. And there's also a owl and some stars and the wisdom. Like, there's just so much on here. But so again, if the number 43 stands out to you, 4 weeks, 4 days, and then the 7 coming together, the 7, 4 plus 3 is 7. There's a significance in that. So either 4 to 3 or 3 to 4 or 4 to 3. If any of those kind of hit out, I don't know why, but they keep saying like 3 to 4 weeks. So there's a significance in the 3 to 4 weeks. If you are wanting any answers on something, if you're waiting for something to come about, it feels like there's going to be a big shift. 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, so remember that, write that down. And then the owl is always a super good indicator of wisdom, obviously. So the deep knowing is a wisdom card. It's kind of like that. It's an energy. What's coming through right now is like the energy when you're with somebody or you're surrounded by somebody and what they're talking about, you know that there is some deep truths in that, some deep wisdom in that. And you're like, whoa, like this person knows what they're talking about in that situation. This has that same energy about it, but like the deep knowing that you have, that knowledge that you have, where that gut knowing about what you need or what you want or what is coming. It's like, you know. So if this is about something, if somebody's like has a question, or if there's something that they're kind of waiting for, but like deep inside, you know exactly what you need to do, or you know exactly what's about to happen. This is a confirmation for that. This is a confirmation for that deep knowledge and that intuition that is within you, to trust that, because that knowledge and intuition piece is coming strong for the end of the month. Okay, the end of March and all of the like eclipse season, it is going to be big energy. So like stay in your knowing and stay in your wisdom. Okay, there's more. I'm gonna pull more. I usually will pull and then go into it, but this one was like really strong. This like pulled me in, this deep knowing card. So like all of you that need to trust your intuition, trust your guidance, like the gut feelings that you are having, and that like all of a sudden, they're saying like all of a sudden you're having a bunch of answers come forward, and maybe not in the way that you would anticipate, or situations that's kind of clearing up, or opportunities, and you know, you're like, oh, that's what this is. Things are starting to like take shape, and your answers are being revealed, and you know it, and it's like, trust your gut. Don't go away from your gut. Even if you are like, I don't see how that's gonna work, trust it. Okay, don't force things to happen, allow it to move forward, but there is a deep knowing in this. Okay. Oh, okay. Milk and honey. Ooh, I love that. The milk and honey card is like enjoying, like just basking in it, right? It's just basking in the goodness. Number 51. So if the number 51, 5 or 1, or the number 6, 5 and 1 is 6, resonates at all, that number is for you. And any of that like understanding of like the land of milk and honey kind of thing. It's like stand under the spout where all the good things come out, right? Relish in the things that are available to you. And I really love how the two go together, because it's like when you trust your intuitive knowing, and like you go into that deep wisdom, right? Like they keep showing me this, like the wisdom keeper, that deep sense of knowing. And when that is acknowledged, and you're like, okay, I know what to do, or I know where to go, and like all kind of the messages that have been leading up to this in the past couple of weeks, it's like getting your ducks in order, cutting out the things that no longer serve you, validating your own knowing. This is all like your deep knowing, that wisdom piece is like, it's like setting the motion for your reality. And milk and honey, like I'm talking, it's at the end of March too, like moving in the eclipse season. It's like bring in spring, start to celebrate, start to acknowledge all of the things that have transpired, because you've trusted your gut and you've listened to yourself. And then it's time for play. It's time to like receive. When something comes in and you're like, oh my God, this is actually working. Like, oh my God, this is actually aligning with me. Bask in it. Receive it. This is a really good card. The milk and honey card, I'm always like, yes, when I get that, because it's like, receive all the things coming your way. Okay, so there's some like funness, some fun in the sun, some happiness, some playfulness. Take it all in. And there's another card here that is to be received. Unfinished Symphony, number 10. Okay, so I like this. I love looking at the actual, she's sitting on a blue egg, which is sticking out to me right now. And for this is like unfinished business, is like whatever is unfinished symphony, but it's like whatever's left to tie up, right? It's and it's not in a like a negative, like you've got a bunch of hard work to do. It's like if there is any unfinished business that you have that isn't going to be invited to your milk and honey party, then like just finish it up unapologetically, love, ease, and grace. And another thing that's coming up with this unfinished symphony thing is the whole thing of music. And the thing with music is it carries such a frequency, such a tone, obviously, and a frequency of like incredible healing. And it brings in like a connection to the kind of higher vibrational realms. So when this unfinished symphony, it's just like so coming through with this actual sound of music that's coming through. So I want you to see how this resonates, okay? Because this is unique to this card. It's not going to say this in the write-up, but what I'm getting with this is that there's something to do with a connection with somebody with music and how the music like plays to their heart, or they have some kind of connection to this, whether it's with somebody, like music reminds them of somebody, or with music, with somebody, music will always come up around them. And then there's like, might be that like final unfinished business, or the last things you need to say to them, or using that and or like in another way, like there's something about the music being unfinished. Like use that music as a tool for you to work through the rest of it. It doesn't have to be a struggle. It doesn't have to be like all like tying up loose ends doesn't have to be like so grossly vulnerable where you're like, oh my God. Maybe it's like you sit down and you play your piano and you just let your energy come out and you're moving the energy through it. Maybe you write a song and you sing it or you play it or something to release that, like the last of the energy. It's like if you have some unfinished business, but the words don't need to be at all integrated or back and forth with somebody or a situation or a feeling that might be still stuck in like old energy, use music to move it through. If you don't write music or sing, fair. Maybe you put on your music and you move it through your body. When you're ready to like let go of the last of it, that unfinished business, use music as an opportunity for you to release the last of it. That's what it is, okay? So in whichever way music aligns to you, that is going to be a really helpful, high vibrational tool for you to use to move that last of that unfinished business, the unfinished words, says, whatever, out with the old karmas kind of thing, like finishing off that cycle. And it's a heck of a lot more useful than doing things like, you know, using old kind of ways of dealing with old issues, you know, like you're not going to work through it in the like cycle of the same old conversations or the same old feelings or the same old kind of recycled things. This is like to wrap it all up, use music as a tool because it's such a high vibration tool to use to move through your body. So I love this. I love this because this is intuitive stuff here. This is really intuitive stuff. This is like you connecting to your higher self and being led by your inner knowing and using really positive tools in order for you to get to the place where you want to be. Okay. I also hear like with listening to music, sometimes people don't play music, but they're so deeply connected to it. So whether you're listening to like classical music or like the cello or the harp, or like high vibrational sounds or like Spirit Saturday, music bowls or whatever it might be. Okay. No, but seriously, the music, the tone and the frequency can help move it through your system. And it's very helpful. So that's what this is about. Okay. So now I'm going to pull, tarot to kind of keep telling the story. I feel like there's such a story going through today. Like I opened up a book and I'm reading a story out and it's like, what's the next page going to be? It's really about the story today, telling the story. Okay, so, Ten of Wands. Love it. That's totally aligned. Fool. And there's a journey. It's totally about the journey. Yeah, okay. This is a jumper. This is interesting. Okay, so I have the Ten of Swords. No, sorry, Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands. Okay, then I have the Fool card. And then I have the Three of Swords. Now, again, I was talking about the kind of pictures on these cards. They tell the story themselves. Check this out. This is the Three of Swords. Like, she's feeling it. She is feeling it. She's letting it out. She is like, ah. Okay, so I love this because it's kind of like each card kind of came along the lines of the same story of the first three. So the 10 of Wands. So this, you can see her, she, along the path behind her has the wands that are lit for her path to walk, and she's sticking them in the road, and she's saying, okay, I don't need you anymore. I don't need you anymore. I don't need you anymore. And she is on her journey forward. She's releasing all the wands that she had been carrying for so long, and she let them go. And on her way, she used them as guidance. She lit it up and said, okay, you can help guide my path. All the heavy wands, this 10 wands, all the heavy wands that she was carrying along the way, she's like, you know what? Heavy burden. I'm done with this. I'm on my journey. I'm going forward. And all this stuff, you know what? Instead of just being like, I'm going to use it. Here, okay, here's the heavy wand. Yeah, I'm going to stick you, you light my path. Light you light my path. So it's like we're using all of the things that have been weighing on us. We're like removing them from our pack and saying, okay, how did you benefit me? How are you benefiting? How can I use you to move forward in my life? This experience that I'm holding on, it's like, instead of basking again in the feedback cycle of it, how am I going to wrap this up and say, how did you show up in my life for my greatest good? Okay. How, like, burden. I no longer want you to be a burden. How can I rearrange this? So I'm looking forward. I'm no longer being held in the subconscious belief system over and over and over. Like, I am out of here. I'm packing up my stuff. Toodaloo. I am out of here. I am gone. And that's what she's doing. She's like, no more of this. I'm not holding on to all this anymore. I'm on my path. Goodbye. And so that's another of the unfinished stuff. It's like when you decide that there's no going back, when you decide it's like, yeah, I'm going now, you go. And this actually might indicate like an actual move for somebody. And normally the 10 of Wands don't indicate a move, but it is. It's like someone moving forward on their path and it being like very aligned and being like, yeah, if anything, all these burdens are just motivation for me. Not to escape, but use all of the knowledge that you've built along the tough path as fuel forward. Yeah, I didn't learn these lessons for nothing. I didn't go through all of this stuff for nothing. Like, let's do this. So you're really going forward on your path. And then the Fool is all about a new journey. She is like right on the edge. She's ready to step forward. There's like this sacredness underneath her. I think we've gotten the Fool before, but yeah, she's saying like, let's go. And I'm going to sing about it. I am ready for this. I'm like, she's doing the whole trust fall. Like, okay, I'm going down. Universe is like, I got your back. Do it. Okay. And this is all about new beginnings. The Fool is like setting out on a journey of new beginnings. Now, the Three of Swords that came out, it's not like you're going to go on your journey and then all of a sudden be heartbroken. It's like the Three of Swords is saying, feel all your feels. Okay. So, and that's, it really aligns with the unfinished symphony too, because sometimes unfinished business can hold up really important real estate in our nervous system, in our energy fields. And when it's time to actually let it go, you can really feel it. And it might actually be like saying goodbye to somebody, right? It might be like losing somebody that was significant in your life, but you know, it's like, it's time, right? Or it's like, I'm going to really embrace all the things that you were to me and not pretend that it was perfect, but like, I'm just gonna love you for everything that you were here to show me and feel all the feels, right? Like grieving is important. And so being able to go on your new journey, a lot of times to freely go and like unleash all the burdens that might have been carried, to really go and be like, okay, I'm ready. I can trust this. It starts with like letting it all out. It's like the grieving part is really important. It's really, really important. Okay, so I feel like this is all about like, don't forget to feel all your feels, right? Acknowledge yourself first and foremost. It doesn't have to be pretty, right? Like it can be deep stuff that has been hanging out in your system for like many moons. But when you start bringing them to the surface in order to really feel everything, then it's easier for you to take a look at each one and be like, okay, how was this actually for me? How did this benefit for me so that I can learn and grow from it? Okay. And sometimes that helps making the grieving process better and easier. Instead of resisting the pain that it feels to grieve the loss of somebody, it can actually be more freeing for you to acknowledge whatever that situation, person, whatever it is that you're grieving. It makes it easier to move forward by acknowledging all aspects of it. The good, the bad, everything, right? And so, like, I really feel like this is a huge opportunity. The whole energy thing here is like you've worked and you've done all the things to bring it to the surface, and then it's like you get to go now, right? You get to go forward. And it makes the grieving process easier. It makes the saying goodbye things easier. It makes setting out on your own path easier. And there's going to be things along the way, right? But once you have that deep knowing in yourself, that great intuition that nobody knows better than you do. Nobody knows what you need more than you do. Not a chance. But the more that you can really like lean into that, the more that you can trust the universe has your back. Like, I know I got me. I know I got all my experiences, my whole road that I've been on, and I'm going to do it. It might be scary, it might not be easy, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to take this knowledge and move forward from it, and then have fun along the way. Don't forget to play. Don't forget to play and have some fun. Okay? So that is like, this is the story first, and then this is the card that I'm going to leave you with today. A sacred symbol called any theme that we had, new moon. Oh, well, we just had a new moon. 45 is the number. So if the number 9, that's the end of cycle. And then the new moon is the darkest place, right? It's like the new moon is being able to sit with your intuition. So the new moon is all about intuition and putting forth your new energy. What do you want? What seeds are you going to plant? Right? It is coming in that deep knowing in itself. There's a lot of moon energy here. But I'm going to read it. Okay? I love this too because it's like, as my friend says, they don't write a big essay. You know, when the cards are like the book, it's just like a nice quick little write-up. A new beginning, a fresh start. Bam! Is that ever a theme? A new beginning and a fresh start. An auspicious time to start new projects. Drawing this card invites you to begin again. Meditate on this at the new moon to bring in new energy in your life. Write a list of your intentions, dreams, goals, and wishes to support your new direction and invite in inspiration. Love it. This is all about a newness. This is all about starting fresh, and we are. And the trajectory of the new moon, since we had it last week, I believe, the trajectory forward is like slingshotting forward, because it was like really kind of like in the like holding place, and then coming out of it is like, what are your intentions? What's your journey forward? You're deeply supported. This is straight for you. This is a message. You are deeply supported in this journey forward. Okay? Trust that you have the skills. Trust that you have been working for this for your whole life. And that you've got everything you need. And the more that you sit back and be like, maybe I shouldn't, no, go forward. Keep going. Keep going. Like, and again, the way forward is trusting yourself. You're so supported right now, but trust yourself, because you are the one who knows what you need the most. And yeah, beautiful reading. I think there's a lot of like little tidbit stuff here for each individuals, and I love that. But also, if there is an actual journey that someone needs to go on, like if you're contemplating maybe like a retreat or a trip that's kind of like a self-exploration, or a trip for yourself after you've been through it, like after you've like grieved a bunch, or you're like, and you've kind of gone through it and you're like, I need some time I need to go on a little journey. This is like a full send. Okay, this is coming through as like, you know, it's a deep knowing. This wouldn't come up if it wasn't in your greatest good. So if it's like about money or something like that that's holding you back, that's limiting beliefs. That's like implementing any restriction. That's like putting restriction in. Just take any of the worries away and just continue to ask to be led forward in trusting that this is for your greatest good, and that things will just line up. And then trust me, it does. Like, it really does. So this is a full send yes if you're contemplating taking a trip or a journey for yourself of self-discovery after a bit of a time period of being in the grieving place, or being in like the kind of depths of it, like if you've been through it and coming out of the winter, right? Like we're heading into spring, coming out of that, we're starting to seek sunshine, and really, well, in the northern hemisphere, I suppose. I guess the southern hemisphere, it's opposite, but this is a time to really, like, it's for you. Trust. Okay? Trust you're on the journey, and this is the beginning. This is the beginning for you. And you got this. Oh, so much love. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this, please like and share, and tune in on Thursday for a Thoughtful Thursday. I have guests sometimes. Sometimes it's just me straight up channel or information that my guides want you to hear, or like talking about hot topics about spirit or universal stuff. It's always different. So that's Thursday. And then Saturday is my Spirit Saturday, where I play my bowls and use sound as healing frequencies for people. And it's all very intuitively guided for whatever people need that week. So thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And until next week, really bask in the milk and honey and give yourself full permission to go forward. Okay, peace and love. Love you.